Now that you've read the assignments and read all of these wonderful stories, I hope you are enjoying the class. And I wanted to have an informal chat over paper number 1. Make sure that you know the due date, and on that date, don't send it before, don't send it after, on that date, send it to me as an email, as an attachment to an email, and in some sort of Word compatible document. This is an example written by a student, and although it is on the short side, I think it's going to be good for our discussion today. Make sure I know your name. Make sure that you include the instructor's name, class English 1302, and to distinguish it from other sections, go ahead and write the 3-digit section. I think yours is 017. Then follow the guidelines that I've posted in module number 1. Literary analysis, first of all, should be in the present tense. That is, that you're going to write it as if it is happening now. This story is a story of a significant event in the life of Sammy. The 3 girls dressed in bathing suits come into the store, not came into the store. Langle sees the girls, etc. So keep the entire retelling or summary of the story in that present tense. You also should have some kind of title. Maybe the title can lead or set the tone of what you will be discussing. But have some sort of title for this very, very short central idea paper. Remember that the titles of short stories are set off by quotations. That is a punctuation situation here. All stories are set off in quotation marks. And you always begin by stating the title of the story and the writer, the complete name of the writer. And if you refer to the writer again, do it by referring to the last name, not the first name. Okay? Double space, right? I think this is double spaced here, or if it isn't double spaced, give me plenty of space and air so that if I need to make a comment, I will make a comment, and a comment will be something like this. I will click here. I will go insert a comment, and on the side it'll say something like excellent start. All right. And if I make mistakes, I'll go back and take care of it. All right. So I'm following the guidelines that I've written for you. Indent the first line of each paragraph. Right. So you can see this one is not indented. Now it is. And that way, as you continue writing, when you write longer papers, it'll be clear that it is a paragraph. All right. When you are retelling the story or summarizing the story and you read about this, make sure that you mention the main events. All right. So let's go over this. All right. What are the main events in A and P? Even if you haven't read the story, by listening to the main events or reading the main events, you should have a very good idea about what happened in the story. One summer day, 3 girls dressed in bathing suits come into the store, right? Next, before Sammy can ring up their purchase, L'Engle, the store manager, sees the girls and informs them that their attire is inappropriate and that they must decently or be decently dressed the next time they come in. What happened next? Embarrassed for the girls and in an attempt to impress them, Sammy tells L'Engle that he's quitting. And then what happens? At the end of the story, standing alone outside the store at which he no longer has a job, Sammy realizes the consequences of his impulsive decision. All right. So we have 3 or 4 major things that happened in that story, A&P by Updike. Right? After that, you add your central idea, and you've read enough about the central idea as far as what it should be and what it should not be. Okay? Typically, the central idea has 2 parts, and I did this throughout my college career, and it worked for me. I broke up the central idea into 2 things, and one was theme. And I agreed that the theme would be 1 or 2 words that identify the subject, the subject of the narrative. When I went to a prom many, many years ago, I remember that we had a theme for the prom. We didn't have a central idea about the prom, and I don't even remember what the theme was, but you know what I'm talking about. The central idea then becomes the writer's observation on the subject of that story. So if this story was about, the theme was about growing up, or you might say it might be coming of age. All right. So I would consider that the theme. All right. So now, what is the central idea? What is the statement or the observation of the story on coming of age? Well, the observation is that when we're growing up, right, that sometimes when we are young and immature, we make some impulsive decisions, and some can be damaging, and some can be the right decisions. But in either case, these decisions contribute to our growth. So I've checked my central idea, and I think that by breaking it up into theme and then central idea, theme being the subject and central idea being the statement or observation of the story on that theme, I think you will have an easier way to approach central idea. All right, send me the paper. Send it to me on the due date. I will grade it. The way I grade these 3 mini papers is simply a paper is either accepted or you will need to revise the paper. And I'll tell you what to do in that case. All right? So send it to me as soon as you can, and then we'll go on to the next module.